Ooh, first time throw in intended for Rodoni inside the 18-yard handball. Yes! Handball! Handball, it's a penalty, baby. Immediately, AFC Wimbledon took the throw in. Jack Rodoni, good first touch there. Sorry, good first touch from Rodoni to take him to the goal line. And then he tried to put in the cross with his left foot, and a handball was committed there. But I think that was Doyle, who, yeah, arm was out. Right arm was out. Luke McCormick's going to be taking this penalty. So here we go. Luke McCormick to step up, to take the pen. It's a goal. AFC Wimbledon 1-0. Not the best penalty in the world, as it did go to the left of the keeper, but the keeper went the wrong way. And I think Maka knows it. He's smiling. He's like, okay, we'll take the goal. Chislett losing possession here. Pritchard drawing the foul there, as it looked to me like top of the 18-yard box, tried to turn away, and ends up shrugging off the challenge there from George Marsh, and then gets brought down by Lee Brown. Free kick here for Sunderland to take from about 20 yards out. That being said, it's going to be, it looks to me like Pritchard taking this free kick. That's a good one. That's a really good one. And he puts it in the back of the net. Pritchard has had a bit of struggles in his last few seasons, notably in the championship, or Premier League, pardon me, with Huddersfield. But Pritchard, with his third goal this season, puts in a very well whipped in free kick. And it's a good goal from Sunderland. I mean, the build-up play was decent too. You know, they had Stewart on the hold-up, and then they had Kirkin coming up from that left-back position, playing 1-2 touch football. He's going to take on Sirkin, yeah. Trying to take him on 1v1. Instead of gets it back to Hardigan. Assal holding the ball up top the 18-yard box. Assal takes touch. Hey! No, that's a dive. That's a dive. That's a dive, yeah. My first reaction, yeah, it's a dive. My emotions were saying, hey, foul. Nah, it's a dive. Assal took a touch into space. The angle was kind of a poor one, though, so he maybe wasn't going to do it. I think, honestly, if he drove it near post, could have challenged the keeper, but obviously Assal's first instinct is to try to go to ground. He's done that a couple times throughout this season. 1-1. A little disappointed that we didn't get the win there, because like I said, I still think AFC Wimbledon did just enough on the day to get the 3 points. I think, you know, they've been progressing ever since, like I said, ever since that game against Wickham. Ever since we've had games being canceled on us, and you know, ever since the Oxford thrashing, ever since the Boreham Wood disappointment, I think it's been a slow progression, but it's a progression nonetheless. Overall, solid, consistent, across the board performance today from AFC Wimbledon against the Sunderland side, who's a bit out of form, but has been a little revitalized with that signing of the new manager. I think Sunderland played well today too. I mean, they were a little bit more inconsistent, a little more spotty than AFC Wimbledon, but I think when they were stringing passes together, they played very well. You know, they knocked it two-touch passing. They had Stewart holding the ball up, playing it out wide to Sirkin and Hume, who the outside backs came up to join the attack. I think Matete did a really good job in that center mid position of holding the ball up, drawing fouls, winning headers. I think Clark, we kind of kept him quiet for the most part, but he put a couple of good balls into the box intended for Stewart, but Ben Hennigan won like 9 times out of 10 against Stewart. I actually said before the stream, I'm like, I think that's going to be a very interesting battle between the two, between Hennigan and Stewart, and I'm wondering who's going to win out. In the end, Ben Hennigan got the better of Stewart. I think Stewart was quiet. I think we did keep Stewart quiet throughout the game. He did have one instance where he was played through in the first half and towards the inside of the 18-yard box. But instead of driving it towards goal with his left foot, he actually tried to take a touch toward his right. I'm sorry. Instead of driving it with his left foot, took a touch towards his right. Paul Ossu came sprinting in to make the goal-saving challenge, forcing the corner kick. I think Paul Ossu did well today defensively, considering that, you know, he's gotten caught over the top a couple of times. I think the first half, you know, both sides had a couple of chances. It was an entertaining half, but neither team creating too many clear-cut chances. But one of them coming in the 4th minute, where Lee Brown put a good ball into the box for Jack Rodoni. Jack Rodoni completely leaving his mark for dead. I think it was the left back or right back, I don't remember. Leaving his defender for dead. Tried to side foot volley it and just missed the ball entirely. That was a good opportunity. Could have easily challenged the keeper, and had he steered it maybe near post, close to the post, I think he maybe could have slipped it past Patterson, but, missed out on that opportunity. But after that, AFC Wimbledon exhibiting some good defensive shape. Like I said, keeping Stewart at bay, winning a lot of headers in the final third. Ben Hennigan, notably. Clark looked pretty decent on that right-hand side, putting crosses in, but we did a good job of forcing him wide, or forcing him back to the center mid on a couple other instances. I think Lee Brown did very well defensively today. Had an absolute stinker, to be fair, against Charlton, losing his mark a couple of times, but I think he really stepped up today on the defensive end, Lee Brown. He also did a good job of keeping Stewart quiet. Lee Brown had a good corner kick whipped in. Patterson had a bit of a hard time palming it away. This was about the 20th minute. And Cosgrove tried to side foot chip Patterson, then Patterson over the top hand save. Double save there. The first one was a bit dodgy, really, but the second one was a good save. He sprung back up quickly and made that top hand save. Chislett did well. I think he did pretty well too. Chislett had a good strike from about 20 yards out. There was an instance where he received it from Jack Rodoni on the left, knew where he wanted to go, took a touch to control the ball, took a touch towards his right foot, tried to drive it towards goal, a couple yards wide. I think Chislett, having to start today, has been in good form lately. Kind of disappointed didn't see him against Charlton. I think having Chislett starting today was a good idea, and I think he did well. 27th minute, penalty shout. Jack Rodoni tries to win a header. It was poked, or tried to get on the end of a cross, rather. Got poked away by Clark, and then when they were both trying to get to the ball, Jack Rodoni got a poke on it, tried to set himself up for a cross potentially, and Clark, maybe his body momentum carrying himself towards Rodoni, bringing Rodoni down. I think it was enough for a penalty. It wasn't a completely, it wasn't a terrible challenge. I just think that Clark, putting his body momentum into the challenge, is kind of like a chest to hip kind of challenge, where I think it was enough for a pen personally. And then 45th minute before the half ended, Lee Brown drove a free kick top corner, and it forces a save from Patterson. He didn't have to dive for it, but he had to really put his effort to get to that one and force it out. So Sunderland, bit of better possession in the first half than AFC Wimbledon, but I think AFC Wimbledon were a little more clinical when they were in the final third with their chance creation. The second half, I think, more of the same really from AFC Wimbledon. I think AFC Wimbledon really controlled the chance creation. I can't believe I'm saying this. AFC Wimbledon created more chances than Sunderland. But Sunderland had a couple of instances where they like I said, they knocked it around pretty well. They had a couple of decent half chances. They never had one real clear-cut chance, except for the one with Stewart when he got him behind. This was the second half, where he got him behind and also came sprinting in to save it. I don't know why Stewart didn't try to drive it with his left foot, as he had plenty of space to do so. I completely forgot about the first half. Pritchard drawing the foul after beating George Marsh, and drawing the foul from Lee Brown, and then really good free kick, to be fair, there from Pritchard. Had good dribbling skills, good quality on the ball, and, getting it out wide to the likes of Clark. And also, at times, he ended up hooking out wide and trying to be dangerous on the 1v1s. The second half was all Assal, man. All Assal. Holy hell. Assal. Dispossessed people a couple of times. Dispossessed Clark storming forward. Forcing a couple of corner kicks, forcing a couple of fouls. I think he had two people on the book from fouls that he drew in the final third. And Assal had one instance, too, where he beat his man on the left-hand side, Hume, and then he tried to drive it low and hard in the near post, but it hit the side netting. Sam Cosgrove did a good job, a lot better job than in the last game against Rotherham. He won a few headers. He held the ball up, but not only did he hold the ball up and draw people into play like someone like Ollie Palmer would do, at times he would spin out and make a run and try to drive across, and there were a couple times where he won corners trying to put crosses into the box. A little bit more versatile than someone like Ollie Palmer, and him coming. Honestly, I think the substitutes, for once, the substitutions were good. Ethan Chislett came off in the 70th minute because he went in the book. He got a yellow card. And Anthony Hartigan came on, switched to CDM. McCormick came up at attacking mid at Cam. And I think that was a good substitution. I think Aaron Cosgrave coming in for Cosgrove was a good substitution too, despite Cosgrove doing decent on the day. I think, just giving some fresh legs. Cosgrave didn't have too much of an impact, but I think on paper it was a decent substitution. I know plenty of fans have given Mark Robinson some stick for like substitutions, but I think the substitutions made today were made at the right times. And I think overall AFC Wimbledon played well. Unfortunate that we didn't get the result today. We are winless now in the last 8, I think, 7 or 8, which is certainly not something you want to be proud of. But I think the performances in the last 2 or 3 games, aside from maybe the Rotherham game where we played decent in the first half, second half just kind of fizzled out against a top-of-the-table Rotherham side. I think we're still making the necessary progress to keep advancing. And I did see that Fleetwood did lose 2-0 today against Cheltenham. 1-1 Morecambe against Gillingham. They play Bolton. They do have a decent schedule ahead of them. They play Bolton, who's been in form. They beat Oxford today 3-2. Then they'll play Gillingham. Then they'll play Doncaster. I'm going to go to that one, guys. AFC Wimbledon versus Doncaster. I'm going to that one. But yeah, AFC Wimbledon versus Doncaster, definitely winnable. Gillingham away, definitely winnable. Then they play Wigan away. Plymouth Plymouth away. I'm not going to go to that one, unfortunately. I'm going to be watching Crawley Town versus Bristol Rovers. But yeah, Plymouth, Lincoln, Cheltenham, a couple of decently winnable games after the Wigan game. So I think we have a good schedule ahead of us. Fleetwood have a tough schedule ahead of them. They still have to play Wigan. They still have to play Sunderland, Wickham. I don't know about Rotherham. I don't think they have to play Rotherham, but Fleetwood are starting to shake in their boots a little bit. If you're COD's Vlogs, I think you're very concerned right now.
Hello, lads and ladies.
Man of the match, Ayub. I think Ayub Assal was the man of the match. I think consistently throughout the game, just didn't stop, man. Energizer Bunny. There have been a couple games where Ayub Assal puts the shift in, but then last 10, 15 minutes starts to get a little tired and doesn't put as much effort in. Assal was just all over the place, constantly, didn't stop, just did not stop. I mean, Ayub Assal, dispossessed people a couple of times, created a couple of chances, had one chance where he tried to drive it low hard in the near post, but nothing came of that. But Ayub Assal, my man of the match. Man of the match for Sunderland, I'm going to say Pritchard. Drew the foul, got the goal from the free kick, and I think he was a nuisance all game for us against us. Pritchard, the man of the match for Sunderland. The overall man of the match, I would also have to say Pritchard. But yeah, that being said, thank you guys for watching. See you guys on the flip side.